KGVO Missoula, AM 1290 and 98.3 FM.
Powered by Carl Tyler's Missoula Volkswagen.
Newstalk KGVO. Depend on it.
KGVO Missoula, KLYQ Hamilton. Live from our studios, this is Sports Talk Tonight with Scott Guernsey, Riley Corcoran, and Denny Bedard. Call 721-1290.
Well, thank you, Peter Christian. We didn't even make you yell first down or nothing. Happy homecoming to all the University of Montana alums, myself included. Happy homecoming to me. Exciting game on Saturday night. The voice of the Grizz, Riley Corcoran, has joined us. Riley.
How's it going, Denny?
It's terrific. Always good to have you in here. Scott Guernsey is, what should we say?
Is he taking a long bathroom break? Maybe?
I never should have got him that.
Is he running?
I never should have got him that makeup trailer. You know, he will not get out of there. He's just always checking his look and
holy cow!
Yeah.
Makeup and bathroom break, I think, for Gurns is what we're officially
I'm going to
saying.
keep this turned down till you get that microphone in position.
This is the fastest you ran since 95 or what?
Holy cow. 94. Thank you for, that's another dime that goes into my kitty. Were you on the national championship team? Probably not. Do you ever?
Oh, poor Gurns.
Do you ever just kind of get to doing something? And I was cleaning the front of the house and taking stuff to the garbage, and the phone rings, and see it's Riley. I'm like, is he called to tell me he's not making it tomorrow night?
Yeah,
no, it's tonight.
Yeah, it's tonight. Yeah.
I will say, though, 7 minutes. That's pretty impressive. I don't know.
That was good. I
don't know how fast you drove, but 7 minutes.
I never drive fast. Got 65,000 miles on my original tires.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. Well, you get all settled in. You get comfortable. You got your copybook there. You got your headphones if you want them. We're good to go. We just barely got things started. So welcome to Sports Talk Tonight.
Yes, Gurns and Bedard.
Yes.
And
me
Riley.
too. It's okay.
I never,
it flows so nicely with Gurns and Bedard. I will say that.
Did you fly in from L.A. today?
From Denver. I was actually at the Bronco game last night. I know.
Were you really?
I was.
What a game.
Yeah, it was a really fun game to watch, and I think there was not really expectations for Broncos fans, so the fact that they were in it was great. And then the worst part about it, and I don't care where you stand on if you're a Broncos fan or not, that was a delay of game, and the fact it can't be reviewed is crazy to me.
Seen it many times, though.
Gosh, I know.
You see it,
but why can't you review it? They review everything in the NFL.
No, I agree. I agree. Boy, I tell you what, that Mahomes, Pat Mahomes, is for real. Did you see the left-handed pass?
It was ridiculous. Everybody in my section thought it was a shuffle pass. I'm like, no, he threw that left-handed.
That wasn't a pass. It was a shot put move or something. That was perfectly legal.
He is the real deal. I mean, Denver could have sacked him 5-6 times and they never got him once.
Yep.
I mean, it was crazy.
Yep. He was able to get in and out of trouble and find open receivers. Although Denver had a chance to win it, Demaryius Thomas was wide open.
I know.
Looked like he ran a wheel route or something and just overshot.
Not enough air under the ball.
They just let that thing control it. It was I don't know from your guys' chair, not being Broncos or Chiefs fans, but that had to be a fun game to watch. Yep. Obviously, it was fun when I was there, but
yeah, it was great.
Back and forth.
Really great game to watch.
So that was like the highest rated Monday Night Football game in a couple years.
No kidding.
Believe it or not. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the Chiefs right now, they're media darlings. They're drawing attention, so you're going to get some viewing audience that way.
Who would ever thought we'd say that? Chiefs are viewing. They are. You're right.
Yeah.
But who would ever thought we'd be saying that?
Yeah.
And they've got, and what's great is they've got some of the most exciting players in the NFL, but they've got the worst rated defense in the NFL, so it makes for good. Makes for lots of scoring.
Shootouts.
Yeah, although there were times when it stood up pretty good. So I haven't decided who wins the Super Bowl, the Rams or the Chiefs, but that's who's in it. And
Rams are better than everybody.
First team to 55. You got to win by 2.
That'd be fun.
No time
I'm taking
clock.
the over. I'm taking the over.
Yes.
Not if it's a couple thousand, you won't.
Yeah, if it's
amazing.
If it's the Chiefs and the Rams and they got everybody going and they're all healthy,
why not make a pick?
Be a great
quarter of the way, 25% into the season. I got the Chiefs and the Rams.
It'd be like the Arena Football League type score. type thing.
Hey,
right?
I had kind of the Chiefs and the Rams at the start of the season. So.
Oh yeah, Chiefs.
Right there.
Chiefs were great last year.
Gosh, I didn't see the Chiefs coming. Rams, yes, I didn't see the Chiefs coming.
Mahomes kind of just put it all together, and that's kind of what
he's going to wreck the AFC West for years, which isn't going to be fun.
I suppose, Gurns, if we've got the play-by-play announcer for Montana Grizzly football here as part of the Sports Talk Tonight team, we ought to ask him about his thoughts on that game Saturday. He had to dodge around a lot of bingos and Yahtzees, but he got
Yahtzee just keeps getting it's about a 3 to 4 second Yahtzee now.
It's like a Peter Christian first down. Montana.
Color analyst Greg Sundberg had a lot of
Well, I'd like to know how the game went because we missed half of it due to the.
That was about as far as we got during show prep without you. I said, I don't know about you, Riley. I assume just based on what little I've received, if I get some, then that means a guy like you is going to get a ton of input and feedback and just a lot of.
There's some ticked off people out there in Grizzly.
It was bad. It was really bad, and we had the booth right next to the TV guys, and you could just tell they were having a train wreck in their production truck. Not necessarily maybe the play-by-play guy, but I heard the color analyst. You would have thought he's from Cal Poly. I mean, after the 80-yard touchdown, he said, "Oh, that's a shame." Did he? I mean, that's bad. That's really bad.
If the Grizz hadn't scored 3 touchdowns and we had a turnover, then it would have been a good game or we'd be winning.
That's second rate is what it turned out to be.
As you and I talked about in the post game, they when you think about it, they had more than 2 turnovers. Those stops on 4th and short. Same thing.
Yes.
Same thing. That you get the ball back in incredible field position. So when the defense absolutely had to stand up against those guys, I thought they got the job done.
Did you think, because Greg and I thought this late second quarter, it's 24-7 at that point, and they went for it, 4th down and 2 on their own 40. And I looked at Greg and I said, this is second quarter. I know it's overreaction, but this is basically the game. Yeah. If they give this up, the Grizz could go and score, which they did, and that was game over. I mean, I understand they needed the spark. What really killed them was the 80-yard touchdown by Bus, because they were driving. That was a 15-play drive, I think, currently, and they could have made that 10-7, and that was a long Cal Poly typical drive. Boom, 14-point swing just like that, and then they were playing catch-up, and it was over.
You know, it's weird with that triple option. It takes a while to kind of figure it out, but it almost seems to go by drive.
Yes.
You know, it seems like the closer you get to the end zone and you're not so worried about people getting behind you as far as, the safeties getting sucked up, that maybe you can be a little more aggressive and get up there and stop things. Quarterback had he threw a couple of really nice passes. I was surprised that they didn't throw more than they did.
I know it. He only had 20 attempts going into that game. I mean, so they're only throwing it 5-6 times a game, and you're right. He was 8 for 9, and thinking, okay, they could go deep a little bit. And there was one time even, and it was later when the game was probably out of hand. He threw a deep ball to the end zone, and nobody knew. I don't know if the camera work showed this. Nobody knew it was coming, and he threw a dart to his wide receiver. And if his wide receiver was even looking, 50-yard touchdown. But I'm sure the TV cameras didn't catch that one.
Well, I don't believe so. And the video footage, I guess they did show the sort of doink fumble recovery, a bus off of the helmet. But not, there was a lot of light. You couldn't really, you couldn't really see exactly what happened. If you can kind of, recap
the play-by-play, I can do that.
Exactly what happened, because I don't know if it's just a bad probably bad camera angle, given the criticism the coverage is getting. But it was really hard to see anything that happened.
What I will say is there was, in the first half, sun and shade on the field back and forth, so I'm sure it was tougher for camera angles, number one. But what happened on that play is they went option to the right, and they went to the short side of the field, which is tough anyway, and you've got Bus jammed up there. He's on the slot back. You've got Dante Olson ready for the quarterback, and so Dante comes up, and he's going to get Jenkins, quarterback. So he pitches it out, and Bus is this close. I mean, I shouldn't do that with the radio. We got to describe it. He's pretty close to the slot back, and the pitch came so quick, it hit him actually in the shoulder pad. And it hits the shoulder pad, goes straight up in the air. No one knows where it's at except for Josh Bus. Picks it up in stride. Before even Cal Poly knew it, he was 20 yards ahead of anyone. He ran out of gas at the end. But, yeah, it was great. He went to the house, and I mean, that to me was the play of the game. The fact they went to the short side of the field, it's tough to just call the option back, option right, fullback dive up the middle. It's kind of like, how do you change up the monotony here?
The one thing I don't want to say disappointed in is we did not hit the quarterback.
No,
we did not. That's rule number one. And I suppose in this day and age that might be a little bit different now, but that was the deal. If the quarterback's going to pitch it, you need to make him pay.
Right,
and we did not do that.
And he still had 20 carries in the game, too.
Yeah,
you would think, man. I mean, I think there was so much attention on Pro Throw. That guy is an animal. What's your take on the workload, first off? Because it's kind of crazy late in games. They're losing, and this kid's got NFL career 43 carries 2 weeks ago, 37 against Eastern, 37 when they lost 70-17. What's he doing carrying the ball in the fourth quarter? And then against us, he had 35 carries where the game was completely out of reach in the fourth quarter. I almost feel bad for the guy. I mean, he tore his ACL last year.
He gets no sleep. He's got 3 kids at home.
Married 3 kids.
I mean, geez, the guy's got a lot on his plate.
That's a tough academic school, too.
No, well, and you know what? When you know that you've got a guy like Prothro, why not run somebody else? Get somebody else worked in there.
Yeah.
6 yards in a cloud of dust when you're down, 30 points. I mean, nobody cares, right?
Exactly. And that offense, it's got to be a whole team game, and their defense just isn't very good. I think we talk so much, and rightfully so, about their offense against the Grizzly defense. How do you defend it? Well, really, it was the other side of the ball that was the big mismatch because they had no chance.
I guess if you ask me to speculate, you're a 6-year senior. You're playing on a team that went 0-11 last year. You're already 1-4 this year. So you're not getting any kind of notoriety at all, and you have aspirations to at least a chance at the next level as a fullback in the NFL. Probably the only way that you're going to get that kind of attention is you roll the dice, don't get hurt, but lug the rock time after time after time.
Completely disagree. And only because they'll find you anywhere. And it's not so much your game film, it's how you test out, how you run, how your pro day is. Maybe they're getting all league accolades for their team with Prothro.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I'd start working in the future, number one. And number two, if you're Prothro at this point, people know who he is. I would say now that it'd be hard-pressed for me not to think someone like the Niners, 2 hours north, aren't going to say, hey, we'll give you a tryout, if anything else. So we'll see. I do hope the kid stays healthy because everybody I talked to, from Coach Howe, even down to the players, classy kid. Even during the game, it was funny. He talked with Robbie Houck, and Robbie was on the TV show Sunday, so we bantered a little bit, and he said, this is a big statement because they played North Dakota State, Weber State, and Eastern, 3 top 6 teams. Yeah. And they were talking mid-game into hope you have a good rest of the year. And Joe Prothro said, you guys are the most physical defense we've played so far. And that tells me something with North Dakota State and Weber State.
Wow.
That's a big statement.
That's impressive. That is impressive. Denny, do we need to get to some trivia?
We sure can. We do have our complement of prizes from Fuddruckers and Happy Days Car Wash. 721-1290 if you would like to be a part of trivia. That call right there is not part of trivia. So I'll disengage that one there. It was a robocall.
Oh, don't you love those? I'm getting so many more of those lately.
It didn't say, hello, we are listening to Sports Talk Tonight.
You know what's great? One of their first questions is are you affiliated with TV or radio? As a matter of fact.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah. That's one of the first questions they'll ask you.
That one happened to be from one of our better-known politicians, and it's strictly a pre-recorded thing. I think it just reminds you to vote on November, whatever the date is. So we thank them for calling, and they're not eligible to win, but you are. A $10 gift certificate from Fuddruckers, world's greatest hamburgers. Whatever you order off that amazing menu, you get to top it yourself to make it exactly the way you want it. Fuddruckers on North Reserve. And from Brent and the crew at Happy Days Car Wash, we have a gift card for the Works Car Wash, the best car wash in town. You make it Happy Days for the Works Car Wash. They're on Brook Street between Fairbridge Inn and Pizza Hut. All right, 721-1290. If you know the answer to this week's trivia. We haven't even started talking homecoming yet for the Montana Grizzly football team on Saturday as they host the Portland State Vikings. Some noteworthy names over the years on the roster of Portland State head coaches, including our very own Papa Bear, Don Reed, who actually had 2 different stints as the Vikings head coach, 68-71, and again in 1981 to 1985, prior to coming to Montana. So, who replaced Don Reed as head coach of Portland State in 1986? Was that A, Pokey Allen, B, Mouse Davis, or C, Jerry Glanville? Who replaced Don Reed as head coach of Portland State in Wow, you get serious when you think. In 1980, so look at you.
What does that mean?
Was it? Well, I mean, you're like a stone figure over there, the thinker.
That's an underrated comment there.
Who replaced Don Reed as head coach of Portland State in '86? Was that A, Pokey Allen, B, Mouse Davis, or C, Jerry Glanville? Do you know the answer? I know you do. 721-1290.
Give us a call. We'll make you a winner. We'll be right back. Sports Talk Tonight.
The savings continue at CHS Mountain West Cooperative with the October Hot Buy. Those little trick-or-treaters will soon be knocking at your door, so CHS is giving you a great treat to stick in their bag. The Snickers Share now 2 for $3. Keep listening for even bigger savings October 25th through the 31st during CHS Mountain West Cooperative's Spooktacular Savings Event. CHS Mountain West Cooperative in Missoula and Ronan.
Your one-stop ranch and home store, Mountain West Cooperative.
This flu season, one Walgreens flu shot can make a world of difference. So you can protect yourself and also your close-talking coworkers, high-fiving neighbors, 2-month-old niece. That's why Walgreens has specially trained pharmacists that have provided over 60 million flu shots since 2010. Stop by for your flu shot today with a $0 copay with most insurance. Because protecting the world starts with protecting yours. Walgreens. Trusted since 1901. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-601-7991. 800-601-7991. Don't wait. Call now. 800-601-7991. 800-601-7991.
We got a whole lot of Grizz going on. This is Sports Talk Tonight.
We're back. Sports Talk Tonight, brought to you in part by the Orange Street Food Farm, locally owned and operated grocery store featuring the freshest fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, and a great beer and wine selection. Denny, I do believe we have ourselves a winner on the line.
We do. Our trivia contestant tonight is Marty Hagee. How are you this evening, Marty?
Doing good, thank you.
We appreciate you listening. Hey, homecoming coming up. Are you a Grizz alum by any chance, Marty?
Yes, I am.
Good girl. Well, homecoming Saturday. And taking on Portland State, we've had some noteworthy names as head coaches of that team over the years, including our very own Don Reed, who had 2 separate stints. The second one was 81 to 85, so that was before he came to Montana. And who replaced Don Reed as head coach of Portland State in 1986? Was that A, Pokey Allen, B, Mouse Davis, or C, Jerry Glanville? What do you think, Marty?
I think it was Pokey Allen.
Ernest Duncan Allen. He was born in Superior, Montana in 1943. He played his college ball at Utah. He actually was a Grizz assistant, 77 to 79. Had a lot of success in 7 years at Portland State. Went on to Boise State for 4 seasons. Sadly, passed away in late 1996. But that was the answer we were looking for, Pokey Allen. Do you remember Pokey Allen Gurns at all?
I do. Played against him.
Seriously?
Well, I mean, I'm not that old, but no, he was coaching at Boise State back in 93, 94. So.
Yeah.
Yep. He was a character.
Hey, great job, Marty. We sure appreciate you listening to the show. I've got your mailing address, and we'll get your prizes mailed out to you, okay?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Go Grizz.
Go Grizz.
Fight on.
Fight on. That's Marty Hagee, our latest winner there, guys.
Hey, back to the Grizz game, Riley, before we get on to homecoming festivities and such.
Yes.
Boy, team left awfully late. 5 o'clock, right?
No, it actually was 6:30.
Oh.
And it will be like that for the foreseeable future. Coach Houck wants them to go through a normal Friday. That means practice on the field, go through team meetings, team meal before you board the bus. Then you board the bus and you go to the airport. He wants to get to each location around 8 o'clock and make it consistent. You get there, you go to bed, you wake up, game day. So it will be like that. Maybe not the best for everyone else on the plane. But, get in at 8 o'clock. But, yes, to your point, yes, it was late.
Boy, it would have kept my fun down to a dull roar back in the day when you're getting there at 9:30 in the morning, banging on the door.
Yeah, no kidding.
Leaving that late, because that's a good, 10 to 12 hours later than you're used to on a game day Friday?
I think it was more, 2, 3 o'clock. You'd get there in the afternoon. But just that 5-6 hours is just different. Whereas maybe some teams would get there and do a walkthrough, and I think that's what the team did last year. 2 years ago, there was no walkthrough. So, it's all perspective and how each head coach kind of wants it. But
I guess I'd be a little bit concerned about the what ifs. I mean, mechanical failure,
right?
Delays,
Yeah, that's
whatnot.
And the walkthroughs. We've talked about this before too. There's no old AstroTurf anymore.
Right.
There's no getting speed adjusted to stuff like that. You've got natural turf here that you can practice on when you're playing against the Cal Poly. And it was, when you get in the middle of the day and it's just another thing that you have to coordinate. But, there's 3 buses and you got to unload them. And then there's the boosters are there. They can go to the hotel. It's kind of a big production. Somebody's got to come open the locker rooms. And
it's way more than you would just think on the surface. Oh, we can get there, show up at the field for half hour. No, it is more detailed than that. And I don't know. I'm getting used to it. I just selfishly, of course, you'd like to get there to your opposing place, go to dinner, that kind of thing. But, from the team perspective, obviously I think it works out. They're focused. There's no messing around. They get there, meal, go to bed. Get up, it's game day, do your meetings, and get going.
How was the demeanor of the team heading down there and while they were down there in San Luis Obispo?
Really good. You can just tell the focus level is up, and that's where it stinks because we were just talking about it off air. They were this close to 5-0. Really, you could say they should be 5-0, but that loss did them some good just because they're a young team, and they were very focused. And this is what's crazy. This is my 3rd year being the play-by-play guy. That's only the 3rd flight trip we went home with a win. Think about that. Northern Iowa, and then, we were thinking about the other game too, but it was only 1 flight trip a year. The Grizzlies actually...
Idaho State?
No, because drove back from Idaho State.
Drove back.
It was last year, there was 1 flight trip. We'll think about it. But, that was it. Those were the only times that Northern Arizona was a loss both times.
Portland State?
Portland State, correct. So there you go. The last 3 years, it was Northern Iowa, Portland State, 1 a year, and then last Saturday. And it's a much different feel on a win.
And I don't think you're going to get too far in your season by winning 1 game on the road every year.
Wonder why you're always 1 win short when it comes to the playoffs?
Yeah.
That's probably the reason.
Yeah. What you got in your hand there, Denny?
Well, speaking of those Big Sky Conference darling Idaho State Bengals.
Oh, man.
You talking about the officiating crew that got suspended?
Yeah, interesting thing that was announced by the Big Sky Conference today. The 8-man crew from Saturday's Idaho State-Northern Arizona game, they will be suspended for their next assignment this coming Saturday. A quote says, after a thorough review and evaluation of the Idaho State-Northern Arizona game, we have decided to suspend the officiating crew for 1 game. That comes from the interim Big Sky commish, Ron Lockery, who we got to see a week ago Friday at the Wine and Beer Festival. The crew failed to verify the correct sequence of downs following a targeting penalty enforcement that was reversed by replay. Resulted in Northern Arizona replaying a 2nd down, but it should have been 3rd down. So Northern Arizona reached a 1st down on 3rd and 11 when it should have faced 4th and 11. The end result of the drive was a touchdown, which got Northern Arizona back, within 28, or I don't know. Pretty lopsided. I guess you have to put your foot down a little bit, but given the outcome, and maybe you can't look at that. Given the outcome of the game, seems a little harsh.
I think you have to think of the big picture, and what if it wasn't? What if it wasn't a close or a blowout game?
No, I know.
What if it had bearing on it? That's what they're thinking, and that's a big. That's a big deal, losing a down. So they're sending a message to their guys, say this is what's going to happen if you don't figure your stuff out.
What I'm interested in is you would go through that whole press release, and the whole point is to punish these guys, but they don't list their names. How interesting is that? I know whose crew it is. I went and looked. It's Jim Crowley's crew, and he was actually the crew that was for one of the first 2 home games, and there was a lot of controversy, and there has been. So pure speculation, but I would say this might be more... maybe a couple little things adding up throughout, and it's like, okay, now we missed a complete play, a down and distance in a game that who knows if it would have mattered or not. We need to figure it out, get it together.
Yeah, and thank God it didn't have any bearing on anything. Exactly. That would have been pretty bad.
Where I thought you were going with this is maybe the more surprising point. How about Idaho State?
Oh.
You beat North Dakota when they were a ranked team in Grand Forks, which is a tough play. That's a tough win no matter how they are. Really, That's a really good win. Then you go home and put up 56 on NAU, and that has no bearing on whether Case Cookus was playing or not for Northern Arizona. That's putting 56 points up on their defense, who a lot of people thought NAU's defense would be a strength. They had nearly everybody back. So I think Idaho State's kind of for real, and they host Idaho this weekend, who struggles. Idaho State, they go to 3-0. Watch out, Coach Fennessy over there.
Wow. See what good things happen when you're Montana Grizzly Junior?
How about that? There you go.
There's a lot of time.
There is. And Coach Houck and Fenn are obviously close, and they don't play this year. So it's very interesting. Whereas Grizzly fans, honestly, you can kind of root for Idaho State this year. They can kind of be spoiler and win the games that you didn't think. And I know they play the neighbors in early November, so I can guarantee everyone here will be a Bengals fan that weekend.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I'm going with neighbors, by the way. I really like that phrase, and Coach Houck's using it. I'm going to go with neighbors.
You came over to the Houck side on that one.
Yep.
Step neighbors?
Step neighbors.
The neighbors struggled at home against Eastern Washington on Saturday.
Yeah.
Did not generate a whole lot of offense.
That offense, that just can't be sustained. There's no way.
No, it can't. And I was telling Denny this, too. I watched most of that game, and watching Gabe Gabrud. Was not impressed. He throws a weird ball. It's not very strong. He puts it in the right spots. They've got a stable full of running backs. None of them really proven. McPherson maybe, and they've got Webster at wide receiver and a bunch of other guys that are kind of new. Tight end from Glider,
yes,
from Corvallis,
Gilder,
yep. He actually had a pretty decent game.
He always does against the Montana schools.
But Gabrud, I was like, NFL aspirations? Really? I didn't see it.
A lot of it's system, I think, at Eastern. I mean, they have good athletes and a good. I mean, I don't know. I'm with you. I don't think he's leader NFL, but he's obviously put up his numbers for good reason. Well, we only have to go back to last September at the stadium, that second half. Yeah. But it was the same two plays over and over again when they beat the Grizzlies. It was crossing pattern that probably just drove you crazy.
But I don't. And back to the neighbors. I don't know. Anderson, he threw the deep ball the very first play of the game, caught them unawares, and then the next play he runs it for a touchdown. That kid is one of the best athletes.
And they even had him playing defense. How in the heck? They had him playing a couple plays on defense. That's just.
But what I don't understand, and then they put Rovig in there, and he actually did pretty decent. I don't think they know what the heck's going on offense. They just really. They're kind of just searching for something that's going to work. And
do you think Anderson can hold up through 10, 11 games? Because just the pressure they're putting on his body, and just more than anything else, playing offense, defense, quarterback, taking shots. I just don't know how anyone can last that.
Any quarterback, I wouldn't. Right. I mean,
as Gerns pointed out in the postgame show when we were talking about some of the final scores from last Saturday, just when you've got somebody who's that big, strong, and fast, incredibly athletic, it's too much temptation not to.
Right.
And then the kid, only a sophomore, he's obviously all in. He's not going to come and say, I think I've getting a few too many touches here.
Well,
that isn't going to happen.
The funny thing is, if you went to Troy Anderson and said, "All right, so what position are you?" I don't think he'd know the answer. You quarterback?
He'd want to be defense.
He'd want to be a linebacker.
Whatever you need me to do, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
From what I hear, that's what he wants to do, is play defense. But that, what do I know?
We're also talking about the struggles of Portland State, where they go from a very, very successful, I believe it was 2015, and all of a sudden their head coach is, the star of the Big Sky, and gets
the mouthpiece, Barney
Ball,
gets an extended contract, and as Gerns pointed out, really one of those mystery teams. You're from a major metropolitan area. Granted, you're competing with a couple of Pac-12 schools, but they just cannot sustain any consistency. I think he was using maybe Sacramento State as an example of another team that never on the top, never on the bottom, just kind of one of those tweener teams. But Portland State, it seems like they struggle to even achieve that with any regularity.
Well, especially the last couple of years. I mean, the fact they are 1-15 in their last 16 games, and their only win against the College of Idaho, NAIA school. So, I mean, they have really fallen off the deep end in the last 2 years, and there's a lot of reasons why. But you look at their roster, and you see the guys on the field, and they pass the eye test. Man, why can't these guys figure it out? How can this not translate into wins? But offensively, they have no true identity. They like to run the ball and do crazy different formations, but I think a lot of it has to do with lack of support, too. I mean, the fact that they have to play 4 of their 5 home games this year at a high school park, is pretty tough. They only have one game in Providence Park downtown.
When is Providence Park under construction?
No, they don't have first priority. The women's soccer team does, and if the women's soccer team, the league has started to schedule, with my understanding, more Saturday games. Therefore, they're getting bumped, and the Big Sky Conference already has the schedule made up. It's like, well, too bad. You got to go out to Hillsboro. We're going to talk more about this after the break, but the stadium issue last year almost prompted Portland State's home game against the Grizzlies to move to Washington Grizzly Stadium. So we'll talk more about that.
Remember that.
Little insight from Mr. Corcoran.
That's a tease, too.
When we come back, Sports Talk Tonight.
Bell McCall Ford sells the best cars, trucks, and SUVs. Hurry down and get a great deal on these popular trucks and SUVs. Save over $10,000 on selected models. And when the dust is settled with no origination or dock fees and no backroom tactics, you'll save money at Bell McCall Ford. Sales and service at your locally owned Bell McCall Ford, 3rd and Main in Hamilton. Serving the Bitterroot Valley for over 100 years. Bell McCall Ford.
The Peak Health and Wellness presents Peak Fest this Thursday, October 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. at our Blue Mountain location. This free event is open to the public and features family-friendly games, food truck, face painting giveaways, and a 50-50 raffle benefiting Fit to Fight. Join world-class marathon runner Rick Muir at 5:30 for a clinic that's open to runners of all abilities. Join us for Peak Fest this Thursday, October 4th, where we empower our community to pursue healthy, happy lives. Find us online at peakmissoula.com and hashtag PeakFit406.
Kathleen Williams is too liberal for Montana. In the legislature, Williams voted to make it easier for illegals to get driver's licenses, and Williams voted for sanctuary cities that put illegal immigrants who commit crimes back on the street. So extreme. In Congress, Williams would vote with Nancy Pelosi for liberal gun control, violating our Second Amendment rights. That's why Kathleen Williams is F-rated by the NRA. She won't stand up for our Second Amendment rights. Kathleen Williams is a risk we can't take. Greg Gianforte is fighting to secure the border and ban sanctuary cities. A-rated by the NRA, Gianforte will always protect our Second Amendment rights. Greg Gianforte, endorsed by the NRA. Greg Gianforte is on Montana's side.
I'm Greg Gianforte, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Greg for Montana.
From the flagship station for University of Montana Grizzly football and basketball, this is Sports Talk Tonight.
We're back. Sports Talk Tonight, brought to you in part by Bell McCall Ford. Great selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Bell McCall is your locally owned low-cost auto dealer for over 100 years in downtown Hamilton. And by CHS Mountain West Co-op, Western Montana's source for fuel, feed, fertilizer, clothing, and tack for over 75 years.
And Gerns and Riley, Ruby's Inn, and Urk Hotels are the longest-running corporate sponsor of the Montana Grizzlies, the perfect place for your friends and family to stay when in town for a big game like homecoming this Saturday. Ruby's Inn is located at 4825 North Reserve Street. Looking forward to your stay, and go Grizz.
Riley, you were teasing.
Okay, so last year, and it got closer than you would think, and the only reason it became public was, no surprise, Bruce Barnum opened his mouth a little bit, but there was talk because Portland State, they were having their stadium issues last year. That was about the first time that this really got going, that, man, we can't even play our home games at Providence Park, and it was when the Grizzlies were coming to town, and they had set the date that it was going to be Friday night, and didn't clear it with the league and didn't clear it with anything else. And all of a sudden, Montana gets a phone call that, hey, the game's on Friday night. And Ken's like, whoa. Let's talk about it. And that's when it got brought to light. And then they posed the option to Bruce Barnum. Well, hey, we can play Saturday, can play it at Washington Grizzly Stadium, and you guys get all the ticket sales. And Bruce,
which would have been their biggest payday in
exactly. And Bruce Barnum posed it to his team, and the locker room vote said yes, let's do it. But the Portland State AD and administration said no, we can't set that precedent. But the team wanted to do it. They said, we'll give up a home game to go play at Washington Grizzly Stadium. Plus, school's going to make money from it. I'm actually surprised it didn't happen But that was the beginning of all that, and it was funny that it kind of got mentioned into light by Bruce Barnum, but no one really knew the whole story on that. But that's interesting.
Wow.
I mean, the fact that they would...
Well, you're so screwed up that it comes down to that. And I tell you what,
that would have been interesting. You wonder on an impromptu basis how many fans would have showed up. I mean, would have been a typical crowd, or
I bet you,
maybe 60-70% just because it was so short.
I'd give it 20,000, because I think they would have announced it like August, September. So they still would have had a month probably to plan this thing out.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't that last minute.
And I tell you what, that park that they play at is awesome.
Yeah,
it is the coolest backdrop. It's an old Civic Stadium that I used to.
You know the press box up there. You know the view from up there.
I used to go there when I was a kid and watch the Portland Beavers, Pascual Perez. What Riley?
Oregon State Beavers. I was having a flashback.
Well, Portland Beavers though, AAA club of the Pirates, and I tell you what, it's a beautiful place to play, and it's too bad. They've remodeled it, they've refurbished it. It's cool though. It's cool. It's a cool place to play.
It's too bad the Grizzlies, the only time they've been there the last couple of years was that monsoon rainstorm, and then last year we were out at Hillsboro.
Funny story. The year that I wasn't even doing the radio yet. You know, I'm from Tumwater, which is about 2 hours north of Portland, and born in Eugene and grew up a lot in Portland. And my dad.
You were born in Eugene?
Yep.
Oh wow.
A duck. Me and Mike Earhart, Sacred Heart Hospital.
Nice.
And so I went back home and said, Dad, let's go to the Portland State game. We'll go hang on the sideline. I want to say it was 1997. Mick Dennehy was still there.
Okay.
And we're on the sideline and we're doing this and that and what have you. And my dad's got to use the restroom. And it's a baseball field, so there's, gosh, I want to say from the visitor sideline to the outfield wall, it was probably like 30 yards. I mean, it's a long ways. We had to walk all the way around to the locker rooms, go down, and all of a sudden it's halftime, and where's my dad? Well, he's still in the can, right? And the team runs in there, and he doesn't come out till after the team is coming back onto the field. He got stuck in there. And he'd come out and his mouth was and we were getting beat that year by Portland State for some reason. And he comes out and he goes, oh my God. He goes, I never knew it was like that. Oh, Mick Dennehy, he can fire him up, just. So he got a cool experience, down there with the team. Good. And it was pretty funny. Pretty funny. Homecoming. Speaking of Portland State.
Yes.
Yeah, all kinds of activities going on, of course, in addition to the ball game. Now, the ball game's at 2 o'clock. They, I don't know if they do that by design or if that's just when TV told them they were going to play, but it's nice because the homecoming parade, that starts at 10 a.m., so all the parade fans who are going to football, they don't have to just make that mad panic dash scramble from the parade area to the football area. You got that little extra time in there, so that's good. What's really cool, hope to get over there Friday night, is the whole pep night, pep rally, yell night stuff. You going to make it to that, right?
I'm hosting it.
Then all the more reason to be there.
I'll be the MC, and I won't steal your thunder here, but with Coach Houck and the team actually coming to do it, because Coach Stitt never wanted to do it, and it was always an assistant coach and maybe a player or two. And last year it was the 2 players that got hurt, unfortunately, and Reese Phillips and Mick Delaney. But this year the entire team's coming. Coach Houck is going to address, and I bet you it'll be a real pep rally where Coach is going to fire you up, and the entire team will be there. Wow. I don't want to spoil it too much, but 2 really good representatives of the team will also speak. So they're really going to try and hype this thing up this year, and I'm looking forward to being there. Yeah,
UM marching band, the Spirit Squads, Monty the mascot. They do the lighting of the M. They do fireworks. They do a bonfire. I mean, it's
cool.
But you talk about and that does not surprise me in any way.
Oh.
That Bobby would do what it takes to just to build the fever of that crowd. I mean, that's just it's amazing. I mean, it's not that he didn't do those things his first time around, but it's just amazing how it seems to be such a priority.
He embraces it.
Oh, totally.
I think he knew it had been lacking the last couple of years, and so he's making more of a point to do it.
I'm gonna bet you Seth Bodner's going to be there too.
I bet you're right.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll be there, no doubt.
Tell you what, I don't know how he doesn't say no to anything. It's great. I mean, he's at a lot. He was at the volleyball match against the the Cats last Tuesday, and it was cool.
We probably, the least we could do is invite him to a Sports Talk Tonight sometime.
Yeah.
We should.
He's made the list, right?
Wouldn't he? He'd show up.
Yeah, he can be a member of the band.
He might do it one time, catch the fever, and want to be a member of the house band.
I like it.
It'll be like Eric Tabor. Hey, do you need me anytime soon?
Sorry, Tabes.
Tabor, calling the bullpen.
Listen, Eric, we got to talk to you about something.
Oh, Tabes.
No, Eric is great. Eric is always on board and there for us, and we appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. He's probably working hard on game notes, honestly, right now, knowing him.
No doubt.
You're listening to Sports Talk Tonight with Gerns, Riley Corcoran, and Denny Bedard. Back to the Grizz and Portland State. How smooth and how acclimated, or maybe it's just my imagination, is Gabe Sulcer?
Oh, just a natural fit, isn't he? With the way that they run that offense, and they can decoy him a lot, and I'm sure you've seen that in even the first half of that game. He has so much respect already, I think, which goes to show you. A lot of people saw that one clip where he went to the house.
See, that was my question, not to interrupt you there, but that to me is something that would manifest itself, but it's going to take more than one 53-yard run and one touchdown reception, but that's not the case.
No, he's already garnered that, and there were 2 or 3 plays where they put him in motion in the first quarter against Cal Poly, and he got the attention where someone else was open. It's amazing with all those weapons. I'm just curious how they're going to incorporate him and Jerry at the same time, or if it's going to be more of the, okay, Jerry's out, Gabe's in. And that's a great problem to have because they both be fresh if you did it that way. But it seemed maybe the first game and even the Western Illinois game where he didn't get a touch, but he was on the field, that him and Jerry were kind of working together in 5 wide receiver sets. Last game, I saw more of typical 3 receivers, 1 tight end. That's kind of what I would say the majority of the Grizzlies plays, what they line up in, or personnel-wise. And they had Gabe Sulcer or Jerry on. They weren't really on at the same time on Saturday. So the way that they were able to incorporate that's going to be interesting, first off. And number 2, we can lead into this for Gerns, Danny, whatever you guys have been thinking. It's so fun to watch how multiple this offense is. They can do so many different things, and it just seems the creativity each week continues to build. There's so much on film. I wouldn't want to be a defensive coordinator planning for this offense.
Tight ends?
3. There were 3 at the same time.
2 being freshmen.
Right.
Which is pretty awesome since we didn't have any tight ends last year. I mean, really. Back to Sulcer, that touchdown catch that he had was nifty.
Yes.
I mean, that was not a very good throw.
Nope.
And he just kind of went down and in stride. I mean, sometimes you go to the ground on stuff like that. He just kind of bent over and snagged it, and he was in the end zone.
Did you see the one miss that? I don't know. Honestly, the camera work was so bad. I don't know if you guys saw this play.
No, I did not see that one.
That was so he was running a corner route, and I mean he had his guy beat big time. And Dalton had a great game, but that was a pretty poor throw from Dalton, and it was towards the sideline. And anywhere, I mean, he came out of nowhere to even dive, put his hands on it. Just little stuff like that just goes to show you this guy has the it factor. And anybody out there that thinks Gabe Sulcer should be redshirting or is he going to redshirt, you better stop with that question because the question has been answered.
Hey, back to the camera work. This is the funniest thing. They'd talk about Bobby Houck, and the camera would be on Barry Sachs.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, for the entire game.
No. Oh no!
And you'd see Sachs there, and he's coaching, and then Bobby'd be in the peripheral, and they'd keep it on Sachs. I mean, did they think that because he had gray hair that he had to be the head coach?
I think, I think there was even one time where something did not go right, and Bobby wasn't happy about it. And I think they made the comment that Coach Houck was beside himself, which probably, in a way, literally was true. Yeah, he's beside the guy you're showing right now.
That's funny.
It was just weird.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell Sachs he got a lot of TV time.
It was unbelievable. It was funny.
Back to that receiving core, I got to see part of I think the press conference was yesterday where the coach brings a couple players, one of which was Robbie Houck, freshman safety, and sophomore receiver Sammy Akim, and both of them were terrific. I mean, both of them just well-spoken, great answers, saying the right things, of course, but I mean, just really well done. But you talk about the emergence of Gabe Sulcer. There's another kid that's emerging, and he's only a sophomore.
That's what's crazy about this. I mean, on the entire offense, there's only one senior, and to me, he's probably wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4 right now in Keenan Curran. But he's a great leader. Need him for the locker room, all of that stuff. But as far as what's coming back, to me, it's unreal because Sammy Akem is special. Samori Toure has not really had the best start. He has a lot of talent. Jerry's a junior. He's going to break the all-time record. He's going to pass you. We have to talk about that. He's going to pass Guernsey in receptions this week, and now we can talk about, they need to add the playoffs. We get it. He will pass you this week. Officially in the record book, Gurns. Just saying.
Not in my heart, Gurns.
Just saying, Gurns.
I don't even know how many I had, so.
I do know that.
Wait,
we'll
300?
Yeah, get out of here. It was.
We got to take a break. We'll
before I reveal the real number. Okay.
A little break. We'll be back with more BS from Riley on Sports Talk Tonight.
You know those times when you need to run out for something, but you're not sure if the store you're going to has what you're looking for? Avoid all that with the new Orange Street Food Farm app and website. You can browse different categories like fresh fruit, beverages, baby care, and pet care to make your shopping trip quick and efficient. Download the Orange Street Food Farm app to stay up to date on weekly specials and savings. Orange Street Food Farm, your locally owned, community-involved neighborhood grocery store.
Are you 62 or older and wish you could dramatically reduce your monthly mortgage payments? If so, you're not alone. And I've helped many people of the retirement age do just that. Hi, I'm Kelly DeWolf, NMLS number 543244. I'm a licensed home equity conversion mortgage professional. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may be able to refinance your home with a loan that offers far more financial flexibility and enjoy your retirement with less financial worry. Call me at 431-4651 for an appointment today. Montana is my home. It's where I live and where I've worked with people just like you. This is an important decision, one that could change your life for the better. So give me a call at 431-4651 to learn more.
Reverse Mortgage Funding, LLC is an equal housing lender, 4055 Broad Street, Bloomfield, New Jersey, 07003, NMLS number 1019941. Full licensing at NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Not available to Hawaii, New York residents. Terms and conditions apply. Reverse mortgages are first mortgages. A reverse mortgage is a home secured debt payable upon default maturity event. Telephone 973-842-2448 or 888-494-0882.
This flu season, one Walgreens flu shot can make a world of difference. So you can protect yourself and also your close-talking coworkers, high-fiving neighbors, 2-month-old niece. That's why Walgreens has specially trained pharmacists that have provided over 60 million flu shots since 2010. Stop by for your flu shot today with a $0 copay with most insurance. Because protecting the world starts with protecting yours. Walgreens. Trusted since 1901. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Thanks for going Grizz with us on Sports Talk Tonight. Want to join in? 721-1290. Back to Gurns, Riley, and Denny.
You got it, Peter Christian. This is Sports Talk Tonight. We are brought to you in part by Jerry Wessels Tire Center. Locally owned Les Schwab Tire Center provides the best tire value promise. Visit them online at jerrywesselstirecenter.com. And by the Peak Health and Wellness, with 3 premier facilities in Missoula and a dedicated staff. They can help you achieve and maintain your health and wellness goals.
In case you just joined us, Riley Corcoran is about to ruin Scott Guernsey's evening. Riley?
Scott Guernsey, in his storied career,
and 3 others,
is a
storied career. 100.
I'm so proud of him.
And 67 career catches. 6th on the all-time Grizzly reception list.
Asterisk.
They didn't
count playoffs.
It'll happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they didn't, but
Jerry Louis McGee currently is at 161. So he has a chance to pass 4 different Grizzlies this week, including you, and move from 10th place all the way to 6th.
Can you throw the other names out there too, please? I'm not the only one.
Mark Mariani.
He was pretty good.
Yeah.
Atu Molden.
Yeah, he was good.
Loved him.
Yeah. So he will.
Jeremy Watkins.
And Jeremy Watkins.
Big Sky High School.
Yes. Jeremy Watkins as well. Those are the 3 that he can pass this weekend. And here's the thing with Jerry. I get it. They'll add the playoff stats. You'll get your 195 or whatever. But Jerry's going to shatter this record. I mean, he still has obviously a year and 6 more games this year, and he's only 35 shy of Pacheco right now. But
Ferdy.
Yeah.
Raul Pacheco, we called him Ferdy.
Ferdy?
Ferdy the fight doctor Pacheco.
I like that. That's good.
He was fun to watch. Atu Molden, a lot of fun to watch.
Yep.
What about Scott Guernsey?
Scott Guernsey was great to watch. No. Scott Guernsey was part of that era that sort of just revolutionized the expectation of Montana fans.
Wow.
Hey, we
After
might as well-
working that long with them, you finally drawn up that kind of compliment of a line. Wow.
I'm going to start crying.
It became Air Grizz, and he was a big part of that.
I'll give you that.
I mean, I know that kind of started to evolve in '86 when Don Reed came in, but it took a few years, right?
Yeah.
To kind of.
They said he's a pretty good receiver for a punter.
Yeah. He's got a perfect quarterback rating. He's 1 for 1.
Hey,
he came up. He invented the fumble Ruski to beat South Dakota State.
No, McNeese State.
McNeese State. Excuse me. I always say it's South Dakota State.
You know who the leading rusher was against Youngstown State in 1994?
Probably you.
1 rush for 30 yards on a fake punt.
Oh my God! Were you the up man?
No, I was a punter.
He's a punter.
What? How did I not know that?
We got to get to know each
4
other.
years.
better,
No kidding.
I have the most punts in a season. Still.
That's not a good record to have.
Dubious. Dubious honor.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What can we expect on Saturday? Of course, we'll talk about more of this in the pregame and the statewide tailgate show, but it's okay for guys on the radio to just kind of assume a win. The team doesn't come in with that attitude.
I hope Coach isn't listening to me.
I guess my only comment about it was, let me tie in a couple things here. Gurns and I, see if you were too, Gurns and I were pretty surprised. Montana up 48-28. I know they're trying to run down the clock and just put an exclamation point on this game and get it out of there. But I don't get why your starting quarterback not only is still in there,
but throwing at the end
and running
and getting tackled
and getting hit. And we were surprised. Let's put it that
was Humphrey was warming up. Humphrey was going to go in the game, and then Cal Poly scored. And then so technically it's a 20-point game with 8 minutes. I don't know. All I know is on that final play call, it was supposed to be a run. That's all I'll say, because I did talk with some parties on that one. So I do know that to answer your question there. But
the final play being the interception? You mean?
Yes.
Well, that's what you get for changing it. Then, right?
Exactly.
That's karma right
exactly.
there.
It is. I worry about the shots Dalton Snead takes, but in hindsight.
And that's the only reason we're bringing it up.
That was a game actually where it was noticeable throughout the game. Wow, he's not taking any shots in this game. Like, he never had to scramble out of the pocket. The O-line did a great job. We haven't talked about them yet.
They did.
Continued improvement, although Cal Poly's front is all freshmen. Doesn't matter. Our offensive line is improving, but there wasn't many quarterback runs in the game plan as well. So I think all things considered, Dalton Snead got a game off, so to speak. From the physicality standpoint compared to the previous weeks. But yeah, I was kind of hoping to see number 2 Humphrey out there at the end.
But it's kind of like flying out on Friday night. There's a little bit of a risk there. Regardless,
that's a good tie-in. You're right.
And I guess my tie-in, the reason I brought that up is that it would be nice to see, not to get cocky or overconfident here, but I guess it would be nice to see our backup quarterback in somewhat productive situations in the second half of that ball the ball game this coming Saturday.
I think you'll see it this week
because you never know when you're going to need your backup quarterback.
Exactly.
Grizzlies have needed their backup for years.
He has had no quality reps.
So, anyways, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
One more quick break.
Yes, sir.
And when we come back, we'll wrap it up. Riley Gurns and Bedard on Sports Talk Tonight.
Frenchtown Frontage Road reconstruction is ongoing October 1st through 5th. Subgrade and gravel work will continue on the Frenchtown Frontage Road on the far east end near the Highway 93 interchange. This will cause additional 5 to 10 minute delays on the Frenchtown Frontage Road. Paving is still on schedule to take place early October, likely next week. The Montana Department of Transportation thanks the community for their patience. Flaggers and traffic control are in place to assist with safe and efficient travel through the frontage road. Please follow all posted signage. Call 207-4484 with questions.
Got leaks? Need your vehicle fixed or need repairs on your heavy truck, construction, or forestry equipment? Reynolds Radiator can help. Reynolds Radiator specializes in all radiator repairs, coolers, charge air coolers, and condensers. And just wait, there's more. Reynolds Radiator offers complete cooling system service, and they stock heavy truck cores and over 60 automotive. They offer field service on heavy trucks and equipment with a fast turnaround time. Call Reynolds Radiator today and schedule your free estimate. Reynolds Radiator, 3655 Highway 200, and online at reynoldsradiator.com.
Hello, folks. Fall is right around the corner, and I told Brandy, let's have some fun and give away a free rifle with every engagement ring over $3,000. That's right, we are giving away a free scoped rifle with all engagement rings over $3,000, just in time for fall hunting. Get engaged and get a rifle. Win-win. Leading the charge and having fun with the free hunting rifle giveaway only at Montana's Engagement Store, Adair Jewelers in Missoula. Really, Brandy, engagement rings are fun, and so are free hunting rifles.
Jerry Wessel's Tire Center in Hamilton is excited to announce their new line of Mazama tires. Mazama is Les Schwab's very own brand, offering the best weather traction in the industry and economically priced. Ask them about their all-new Mazama Open Range AT all-season tires for your truck and SUV, or the new Mazama Reputation tires for your passenger and crossover vehicles. And it's also the Fall Tire Sale going on now at Jerry Wessel's Tire Center in Hamilton. The largest sale of the year, the Fall Tire Sale. Jerry Wessel's Tire Center, providing you the best tire value promise.
And now let's wrap up Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO 98.3 FM and AM 1290, and in Hamilton on 1240 KLYQ.
Sports Talk Tonight. Kearns, Corcoran, and Bedard. Just about ready to wrap it up here, folks. Baseball playoffs. Only, right, you know what, Riley?
Like the playoffs to the playoffs.
You know, I owe you. Sure, yep, you do.
I owe you.
Why?
Because... No, I don't know.
Everybody doubts the Dodgers, Denny. Everybody in UM athletic department, Guernsey included, and
Riley Corcoran's a huge Dodgers
I'm not part of the Guernsey athletic department. I'm just gonna put that out there right now.
I finally get to gloat just a little bit.
You
just do a little bit.
Oh, you know, Max Muncy and Bellinger. Although Bellinger had a little rough year, but he
delivered
came
yesterday
through when he needed to.
It was fun. They just have they've got the. Here's the thing: the National League is not dominant, whereas they struggled all year long, and they still can be just fine. I think they're going to win the NL. I don't know if they can beat someone from the American League. I think it's going to be a rematch. Everyone's talking Red Sox, Yankees. I think it's a rematch of last year's World Series, Astros, Dodgers.
Well, you know what they say? It's
there were
going
some amazing records this year.
Come down to the bullpens. And
I don't like that.
The Dodgers don't have a good one. The Cubs suck.
Rockies are not very good bullpen in the game tonight.
The
Brewers are good.
Have a really good bullpen.
But their starting pitching's not that good.
Yep. Let's see. On the other side, Houston's got a good bullpen.
And starters.
Yankees have a good bullpen. Red Sox, not so much of a pin. And who's the other? The A's. Yeah.
And the Indians. Yeah. Indians, kind of. I don't trust them.
It'll be interesting.
Well, it'll be fun. There'll be some good matchups as the Yankees can win tomorrow. How much is Major League Baseball and TBS just salivating over the ratings of 5 games of Red Sox Yankees in the playoffs? Holy smokes!
Yeah, they'd rather have 7, but I guess they'll take 5.
Yeah, good point. Or hope nobody sweeps. Shoot, I would be shocked if it's a sweep, but you never know.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Just to prove we're live, it's 1-0 Rockies in the top of the third in the wild card game. Just so we know.
Is that legal to do that?
That's at Chicago, right?
Yes, in Wrigley. Boy, that'd be a nasty end of the season for the Cubs. Lose yesterday at home, lose today at home.
No kidding.
Woo.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, CA.
The Cub curse would be back.
They'll start a new one. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
NFL, the Rams. We were talking about this. The Rams and the Chiefs are looking really good. New England, you know what? They have, and you can tell when they don't have any skill position players, they look pretty average. But you get Josh Gordon last week, and you got Julian Edelman coming back this week. And how much better do those two make Rob Gronkowski? Because now you're not doubling him. You know, you're thinking, there's a chink in the Patriots' armor a little bit, and I'm the last one to give praise to the frickin' Patriots.
I know.
But man, they're gonna come alive. I'm gonna tell you.
And they got a rookie running back that they're just going with now. He looks good, and Sony Michel.
And James White's one of the best third down backs in the game.
They've got all the weapons. It's the same script for the Pats every year. They lose some game in September. It's like, what? Maybe they're not so good, and they lose to Detroit, and now it's there's New England again. I hate them too, but they'll be there in the end again.
Yeah. I don't know about those Packers either, Denny.
I don't think. I mean,
don't comment. Don't get yourself in trouble.
No.
And the Vikings. Who knows what the Vikings are going to bring?
I'm a lot
Watch
more
them
worried.
Go beat Philly this week.
I'm a
That's
lot more
the
worried
NFL.
about the Vikings than I am the Packers right now.
Well,
hey, join us tomorrow night, 6:30 to 7:30, live at the Press Box. If you can get there, if you can get there early. We're packing the place. If not, listen to it on the radio. Bobby Hout Coaches Show, 6:30 to 7:30 from the Press Box. Gurns and I will be on the air Saturday at noon for the statewide tailgate show. Of course, Riley will join us, and we'll kick kick it off a little bit after 2 o'clock for homecoming, right, guys?
Set your alarm this time, Gurns, for
Yeah,
noon,
right?
okay?
Jeez Louise. Is it daylight savings? Anyways. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Sports Talk tonight. Gurns, Riley, and Bedard. We're out of here.
KGVO, Missoula.
AM 1290 and 98.3 FM.
On translator K250 2FP.
Newstalk KGVO.